This is going to be the ultimate guide on how to become a freelancer. Now, I've been a freelancer for a number of years now, so I've created a list of things that you can do to get started right now and have a freelance career by the end of this video. That's right, you're going to be a freelancer in 8 to 10 minutes. So let's get into it. Number one, the first thing that you need to do is obviously define what type of work that you do. Now, I don't mean you need to know if you're going to be a product designer or a web designer or UI designer or any of that. What I'm saying is you need to be able to tell people what type of service you specifically offer. And within that, you need to be more specific within the type of results that you can offer. Now, a lot of web designers fall into this trap of being able to do really pretty designs like you see on Dribbble and Behance and Wards, but they fail to say exactly how their work is better than the others in terms of how it can help the client. So some examples could be, I'm really good at redesigning your website so that signups will be faster and more fluid, and it will take less steps for people to sign up. So you need to start understanding the benefits into why a client would want to work with you rather than someone else. Because at the end of the day, the pretty designs and the pretty graphics will always come. It will always happen, and it's easy to find that nowadays, but you need to be able to go above that and sell people what you can really actually give them. Number two is defining your niche audience. Now, this is a very, very hard thing to do when you're just starting out. It's almost impossible to know exactly what type of clients you want to sell to and what type of work you even want to do. And that's hard to do in the beginning. So what you need to do when you're just starting out is do a lot of work for a lot of different people, a lot of clients, and you'll soon start to see what type of work you don't like doing and what type of work you do like doing. And when you start niching down and you start understanding what type of work best fits your personality and what type of work is easy for you to sell to others, you'll start to understand what niche you should be in. Now, it's super, super hard to do this in the beginning, and I just want to remind you of that. So if you haven't really found your niche yet, then it's also completely fine. There's no rush in the beginning to do it. But in the end, you will want to be the expert or the niche person to go to for a certain task or a certain type of product. You want to be the guy or the girl to be the best designer in this subject matter or in that subject matter. And that's hard to do in the beginning, as I said, so don't fall into that trap of getting stressed and not knowing, but keep that in mind. Number three is when you know what you're selling and you know where your niche is, you want to be able to develop a pricing structure that can allow you to sell in a fast and comfortable manner to your clients. Now, one of the important things when developing a pricing structure is understanding a few different things. So number one, you need to be able to price your client, not your project. You need to be able to price your client by their experience in the matter. You need to be able to price them based on their location, if there's urgency, how long the project is going to take, how complex the project is, and lastly, just the deliverables in itself. Is it a big project? Is it a small project? So keep those in mind. Now, I actually created a free downloadable guide a few videos ago that explains some of the things you need to watch out for when you're selling a web project, whether it's Webflow, Wix, Squarespace, even. All of those things should be taken into account when you're actually sending that proposal or when you're figuring out how much you should charge your client. Now, when you're just starting out, you want to be able to get a first client, no matter the price, no matter the thing, no matter the anything, right? You want to be able to have a client so they can start to build your portfolio. You can start to get some experience, and that's also totally okay. But what do you do if you don't have a portfolio to begin with? What do you do if you don't have any projects that you can show off on your website? Even if you have a super cool Webflow portfolio, but you don't have any work, what do you do? Well, I created a video just for that. It's actually called How to Have a Portfolio Without Any Work. And the main thing that you need to do is go on websites like Fake Work or fakebrief.io, or I'll leave the link to them in the description so that you can see what fake projects would look like. And once you get those fake clients and you start to develop work around that, so you can start to build case studies so you can start to put it on your website. And even though these are fake projects, usually when clients go on your website and they see it, they don't really mind that it's a fake project, right? They just want to see what your thinking is like, how you would do that project for them, and why they should even hire you in the first place. Well, if you have a fake project with good design, good work, you explain how long it took you, why you took the decisions that you did, then clients will start to understand more about how you work and they'll want to hire you later on. Number five is that you need to be organized, and that falls into two different categories. Number one is going to be your systems in place that allow you to move efficiently through clients and through work. So you want to have systems that say, okay, whenever I get a new client, let's make sure that we send them this document and this document and this document so that they know what the deliverable is, what the brief is, what the contract looks like, what the proposal looks like. So we always know what exactly we need to send them. And that comes also with the second part, which is we need to be organized within our client CRM. CRM stands for Client Relationship Management. Now that can fall into a few different categories, like understanding your client better and having a good relationship with them in the first place, but it also has to do with having a system that allows you to send contracts, proposals, invoices, somewhere where you can manage your tax and your payment information. Now, I use something called Bonsai, and I've talked about them a lot on the channel. I even have a playlist about them, so if you want to see that, then go ahead and check it out. But Bonsai is essentially a software that has proposals, contracts, projects, invoices, expenses, all of this in one single platform, so that you can stay organized and you can send your client your contracts, proposals, your time tracking if you're doing time tracking, or your time tracking onto a freelancer that you've outsourced to. You can send them invoices, forms. All of this is on one platform, which is perfect for me. It helps me stay organized. So that's part of staying organized as a freelancer. Now, the last two are gonna be more like soft skills or soft things that you need to be able to nail down when you have a freelance career. So the first one of those two is gonna be nurture that relationship with your client. Now, I've been doing client work for a number of years now, and I'm still doing work for one of my very first clients. Now, that is because I've kept the relationship going, I've spoken to them, I've been honest with them, I've been doing good work for a fair price, and that comes with a lot of respect in the long run. Now, every time I've had to raise my prices, I've been honest with them, I've been saying, look, I need to do this to raise my business, to increase what I'm doing, to this and this and this. And luckily, they've stayed with me, and I've been able to nurture that relationship for a number of years now. Now, that's not to say I don't have any new clients, I obviously do, but the point is that you want to keep the relationships going, because you never know who that person is either friends with, you never know when that person might need more work, you never know when that person might need you to do some work for someone that they know. So it's always good to keep those relationships going. You don't want to burn any bridges whatsoever. To give you an example, with another client that I was working with, the first website I did for them was around for $700 or something like that, maybe under $1,000. And then later on, I did a website for them for around $15,000 for a company that they were then working at the time. So it then shifted over those number of years to something larger. So trust me when I say that you want to nurture those relationships, you want to keep them going, because you never know where it's going to end up. Within that, you also want to ask for referrals. Extremely important. It's very easy at the end of the project to just say, hey, if you really enjoyed working with me, I'm always looking for new work, I'm always looking for new projects. Please send my portfolio over to anyone that you know that might need work, or anyone that you think might benefit from my services. I greatly appreciate it. That's a very quick email to send, and I guarantee that a lot of the times they'll know someone, or they'll keep it in mind if they ever need another web designer or copywriter or whatever it is that you want to do. So ask people for referrals. Lastly, that I think is most important when nurturing that relationship with your client is always be honest with them. If you're going to be late for a project, or if you can't handle it, or if you think that you're better off doing something else, or if you don't think that it's going to work, just be honest with them. Tell them that you think that this is better suited for someone else. I know someone that I can refer you to. I don't think I can handle this. Whatever it is, just be honest with them, and I promise you it will work out better in the long run. Because if you start lying to them, and if you start taking on work that you can't handle, it's just going to be stressful for you, for them. They're not going to trust you. They're never going to work with you again. Anyone that might try to work with you, if they ask them for a referral, they'll always say no because it didn't work out well. So it's just better to always be honest with them. Now, a little personal story. I recently just had a health issue, and I had to tell my client the truth. And I said, listen, I can't work with you guys anymore because of this, because of that. And that's how it ended, but it was an honest ending, and it didn't have to come out from a lie. Didn't have to do anything dramatic. It was just a very honest, like, okay, I can't do this anymore. It has to end here. And that's all it was. And I'm sure that in the future, if I want to, if I need to, reach out to them for more work, and if they need someone to come help them, then they'll think of me. But we'll see how it goes in the future. Now, lastly, the most important things that you need to do is always learn new skills, and never stay stagnant with the current skills that you have, even if you are an amazing designer, even if you are a great web developer. It's always better to hire someone that has a multitude of skills rather than being a one-skilled guy. Now, you don't want to be a jack of all trades either. You don't want to be really great at knitting, and then also at web designing, and then also at cooking, and then also, you want to have skills that match and complement each other. So for example, I can be a really good web designer, but I can also be a really great Webflow developer. Also, I'm really good at creating 3D designs, and I might not be so good at 2D illustrations right now, but that might be something I might want to learn in the future. Now, there's a couple of benefits of learning new skills. It's not only that you become harder to replace, because where else are they going to find someone that can do web design, web development, and also 3D designs? Where else are they going to find someone that can do animation and 3D designs and then web design? It's hard to come by someone that has all of these skills together and at one price, rather than hiring multiple people at the same time. Now, one of my favorite places to learn new skills and to start learning what I might not even know is obviously something like Skillshare or Domestika. Domestika, and I've talked about them also before on the channel, and I'll leave the link to everything down below if you guys want to check them out. They will be affiliated, which will help me out. But with that being said, another reason why you want to also keep learning new skills is that it will allow you to keep raising your prices. One of the things that I've learned is that as I've started to increase what I can do and my skill set, I've been able to charge more because I can say, okay, now I'm a person with this many skills, so this many skills rather than this many skills, if that makes sense, right? This hand situation here. But now that I have this many more skills, I can charge this much more. So that's a way that you need to start thinking. If you can start accumulating lots of skills and you're really great at them, and then you can start selling them to your clients as well, it can help you to raise your prices. Now, an easier way of doing that might be just to hire someone that can be an illustrator for you or a 3D designer. But if you can do it yourself, then it saves you the time, the outsourcing, the effort. That's something to keep in mind. Well, this has been a shorter video, so if you guys did enjoy this, then let me know down below. This is a freelancing video, so I'll leave a link to a freelancing playlist that I have up here so you guys can watch all the freelancing videos together. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave any comments or suggestions down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.